In the quiet moments when your spirit feels weary, when your strength seems to drain from within your soul like water slipping through trembling fingers, when your mind begins to question the purpose of pressing on through the unending waves of difficulty, know this truth with all the depth of your heart. God is speaking to you right now, and His message is simple yet eternal. Don't give up. For even though your circumstances may look bleak and your surroundings may echo silence rather than support, even though the people you once counted on may have walked away or failed to see the battle you are fighting inside, even though you feel like the night is never ending and the dawn has forgotten your name, God has not forgotten you, and He never will, because He formed you with a purpose too precious to be lost in the pain of this present moment. You may not understand why this chapter of your life has come with such sorrow, such struggle, such weight on your shoulders, and such silence from heaven. But in the grand story of your existence, this is the page where your strength is being tested, and God wants you to hold on just a little longer, not because He enjoys seeing your tears, but because He knows what comes after this storm will be so beautiful, so healing, so glorious, that it will make every tear, every night, every ache make perfect sense in hindsight. God is saying to you right now, in the very moment you are reading this, I see you. I see your faith. I see your doubts. I see your broken pieces scattered across the floor of your soul, and I am right here, gathering them gently, one by one, to restore what was lost, to rebuild what was broken, to redeem what the world tried to discard. Don't give up, even if you feel unworthy, even if shame clings to your thoughts like a shadow, even if guilt whispers lies about who you are and who you will never be, because God has already paid the price for your healing, for your freedom, for your restoration. And His mercy is not based on your perfection, but on His perfect love that knows no limit, no end, no failure, and no condition. There is power in not quitting, and there is divine reward in enduring, because those who endure, not with arrogance, but with trust, become the vessels through which heaven pours out its favor. And God is preparing you through every delay, through every closed door, through every disappointment, to receive something far beyond what your imagination dares to dream. When you cry in silence and no one notices, God notices. When you smile on the outside and shiver on the inside, God feels it. When you are too tired to pray, too discouraged to hope, and too heartbroken to move, God is closer than ever before, whispering into your weariness, "Hold on, child, just a little longer. I am doing something behind the scenes that will astound you." God is not asking you to be fearless or flawless or tireless. He is only asking you to stay, to remain rooted in His promise, to cling to Him when you feel like letting go, to breathe in faith even when everything around you reeks of failure, to believe that something greater is unfolding even when your senses scream otherwise. Yes, it is hard. God knows it is hard, more than anyone else. He knows the weight you are carrying and the burdens you are hiding from others. But He has never failed, and He is not about to start now, especially not with you. Especially not in this very battle that will become the testimony of His strength made perfect in your weakness. You may not see the way, but He is making one, brick by brick, moment by moment, miracle by miracle, often in ways that do not look like answers, but delays, not like blessings, but breakdowns. Yet trust that everything He allows is part of a divine orchestration that your future self will look back on and weep with gratitude for.
Don't give up on your healing, because your wounds are the very place where God is planting seeds of power. Don't give up on your family, because your prayers are the roots that will one day produce trees of peace in your home. Don't give up on your dreams, because they are not random thoughts. They are divine blueprints placed in your spirit by the Creator who sees the end from the beginning. Even if today feels like a failure, even if yesterday was full of tears, even if tomorrow seems like a burden, God is in all of it, and He is not punishing you. He is positioning you to receive blessings you're not yet ready to carry, to walk into places you're not yet strong enough to endure, to meet people who will become part of the healing He has promised you. He is asking you today to trust Him, not blindly, but boldly, to walk not by sight, but by the knowledge that His love has already gone before you, clearing paths and fighting battles you didn't even know existed, and that His plan will prevail even if every other voice tells you it won't. In every moment you chose faith over fear, hope over despair, forgiveness over bitterness, He was smiling, because He saw how hard it was and how beautifully you endured, even when no one else knew what it cost you. Let this be the moment when you renew your faith not based on how you feel, but on who God is, unchanging, unwavering, unfailing, and fiercely loyal to the ones He calls His own. And you are one of them, deeply loved, fully seen, and eternally held. Don't give up, not because you have to be strong, but because God is your strength. And even when your strength runs out, His doesn't. He gives strength to the weary, and to those who have no might, He increases power, because He delights in lifting the lowly, in exalting the broken, in turning mourning into dancing and ashes into crowns. Let go of the lies that say it's over. Let go of the thoughts that scream, "What's the point?" And instead, raise your eyes to the one who calms the storm with a word, who heals with a touch, who loves without limits, and who still says, as He did long ago, "Come to me, all who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest." His love is the anchor in your chaos, the light in your darkness, the calm in your storm, the whisper in your night. And He is saying now, louder than all your doubts, "You're not done. Not now, not like this. I'm not finished writing your story, and the next chapter is going to be filled with redemption, renewal, and revelation." So stand firm, not because the wind has stopped blowing, but because God is the rock beneath your feet. And no storm, no season, no failure, no enemy can take you down when you are standing on the promises of the one who never breaks His word. You are not forgotten. You are not alone. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. You are not defeated. God is not done with you yet. So today, even if your hands are shaking and your voice is trembling, even if your heart is heavy and your spirit is tired, don't give up. Because God says you were made for more. Because God's message today is soaked in grace, dripping in mercy, and roaring with power. Because God's message now is the same as it has always been. I am with you, I am for you, and I will never leave you. Because God's message forever is love, unshakable, unbreakable, unstoppable love.
And now that you have heard this word spoken over your life like a holy wind brushing the weary pages of your soul, understand that this is not just another message, not just more encouraging words, not just hopeful sentiment. It is a divine awakening, a sacred whisper from the Almighty, wrapped in language that touches your wounds without wounding you further, that stretches your heart without breaking it, that calls you by name from the depths of despair into the heights of destiny. You see, every breath you take is a testament that God is still writing your story. And if the author of the universe has not yet penned the final sentence of your life's purpose, then no darkness, no failure, no rejection, no depression, no addiction, no heartbreak, no financial struggle, no family conflict, no betrayal, no injustice, no mistake, not even your own doubts can determine the conclusion of what He began with love and intention from the foundations of the world. God does not start what He will not finish. And the reason your heart still beats and your eyes still open every morning is because your mission is not complete, your testimony is not finished, your influence is not exhausted, and your impact is not yet fully known, even to you. For there are chapters ahead that will hold joy you've never experienced, peace you've never known, and miracles you never thought would be yours. Even now, in this very hour, He is moving, not just around you, but inside you, reshaping the very way you perceive the pain, the delays, the opposition, so that you can rise, not as one who barely survives, but as one who thrives with divine purpose and carries a bold spirit, not because of who you are, but because of whose you are. The voices around you may try to convince you to lower your expectations, to shrink your dreams, to compromise your vision, to accept less than what you know you are called for. But God says no, do not settle, do not retreat, do not bow down to fear, for I have placed in you a spirit not of timidity, but of power, love, and sound judgment. And though the journey ahead may not be without trials, it will be filled with revelations of my goodness and manifestations of my promises in ways you never imagined. And though the nights may still come with tears, though silence may still test your faith, though loneliness may still visit your heart, know that these are not signs of abandonment, but moments of sacred preparation, where the soul is stretched just enough to receive the new thing that God is about to pour out, a blessing too large for your current self to carry, a joy too radiant for your present grief to contain. Because even when nothing seems to be changing around you, something is always changing within you. And that invisible work, that soul-deep transformation is more important than the visible victories you're waiting for. Because it is not your circumstance that must be ready for breakthrough, it is you. And God is preparing you not just to receive the promise, but to carry it well. So take heart, not because your problems have disappeared, but because your perspective is shifting, your faith is maturing, your inner strength is growing, and your ability to see beyond the surface is revealing how close you truly are to a divine turning point. You were not created to merely endure life, to move from day to day in quiet desperation, to pretend everything is fine when your soul is on the verge of breaking. Because God sees through the masks you wear, past the brave face, beneath the polite smile, into the deepest recesses of your being where your pain and potential coexist. And it is there, right there, that He does His most powerful work. And when you finally understand that God's presence is not something you must earn, but something you already possess, you will stop striving for approval and begin living from acceptance, walking not as one trying to impress heaven, but as one already embraced by it. There is no failure too big to disqualify you, no mistake too final to end your destiny, no shame too great to stain the righteousness He has already declared over your life. Because you were chosen before time, redeemed in time, and destined for eternity. And no matter how far you feel from that truth, it is forever anchored in the unchanging character of God. So don't give up when the world turns cold, when friends grow distant, when prayers seem unanswered, when hope feels faint. For God is not finished, and He never leaves things undone. And He does not delay because He's forgotten, but because He is weaving timing and testimony into a masterpiece that could only be born through patience and faith. Let your heart dare to dream again, to hope again, to trust again, not because life is suddenly easier, but because you are suddenly braver, filled with a holy determination not to let the darkness define the light within you. And you carry the quiet courage of a child who knows their Father holds the stars in place and still knows their name. So rise, not just physically, but spiritually, emotionally, mentally. Rise from the ashes of despair, from the lies that told you you're not enough, from the fears that mocked your future, from the wounds that stole your voice, and declare that you are not done, that you are not defeated, that you will not back down because the one who called you has already made a way where there seemed to be none. Every tear has been counted. Every sigh has been heard. Every silent prayer has been recorded. Every night you almost gave up, He was there, holding you, speaking life into your soul, reminding you in ways you didn't notice that you are still loved, still chosen, still powerful, still on the path He designed for you. This is the season of your rising. This is the moment of your return. This is the divine echo calling you forward. And all God asks, right here, right now, is that you keep walking, keep trusting, keep believing. Don't give up. He's closer than you think, and your miracle is nearer than it appears.